Ladies and gentlemen, degenerates and stat patters, welcome to DFL Gridiron Radio, where we talk college football like it actually matters. I'm Johnny Gridlock Reynolds, joined by my co-host, Chuckie Mad Dog Benson. Chuckie, drop something on the people.
Johnny, let me tell you something. This league ain't ready for what's about to hit them. DFL Gridiron Radio is here to break down the madness and maybe, just maybe, ruin a few egos along the way. Let's get this show rolling because somebody's about to get roasted.
That's absolutely right, Chuck. And together we're going to break down everything happening in the DFL, whether the commissioner likes it or not. This is the final stretch before college football 26 drops. And let's be honest, we've been through some chaos getting here. Stat wars, record-breaking rule violations, and Alabama constantly thinking the league is out to get them. It's been a ride, but that's why we're here, to talk the drama, the absurdity, and the actual football buried somewhere underneath it all. Oh, and speaking of controversy, Kyle Tull, the man, the myth, the problem, is finally back from suspension. A 1,000-yard passing game should be illegal in multiple states. And yet, here we are, pretending it might not happen again. We'll also be tackling one of the biggest questions on everyone's mind. Should the league stay on All-American difficulty heading into CFB 26? Or is it time to ramp it up and make every down a living nightmare on Heisman? And let's not forget the reigning champs, Ohio State, who just pummeled South Carolina into oblivion. According to the SC coach, the Buckeyes are cracked, which is hilarious, but also probably true. Oh, and rumor mill alert, Ohio State's coach is allegedly eyeballing head coaching jobs at Florida, UNC, and Cincinnati, which raises a very important question. Has he lost his mind? All that and more right here on DFLGR, where we keep it real, keep it reckless, and keep it just barely on the edge of league-approved commentary. Let's get into it. Now, before we get too deep into the madness of Kyle Tull dropping video game stat lines or Alabama pretending they're being persecuted, we got to address the elephant in the room, the great stat wars fiasco of the offseason. If you were somehow under a rock during all this, let me give you the rundown. There was chaos, there were arguments, there were stat rule violations that made absolutely zero sense. And at one point, I think someone genuinely questioned whether math was even real anymore.
Listen, I don't want to say things got ugly, but at one point, I swear, we had league members pulling up calculators like it was an AP math exam. The debates got so deep that I half expected someone to start referencing NASA flight trajectories just to prove a point. And the craziest part, I still don't think we settled anything.
So the real question now, did we actually fix anything, or did we just slap duct tape on a broken formula and pretend it works? And more importantly, do we trust certain teams, cough Alabama, to follow the rules this time? Or are we about to watch another stat scandal unfold before the season even gets going? Look, at this point, Alabama isn't alone in this mess. Texas has violated scoring rules. Ohio State is out here consistently putting up 90-plus points per game like defense doesn't exist. And suddenly stat realism is starting to look like a concept nobody actually believes in. But after a long offseason of debates, arguments, and people acting like they were preparing legal briefs for the commissioner's desk, the league has officially agreed to new stat limitations going forward. That means if you're dropping video game numbers, don't be surprised when the hammer comes down. So the war is over, the rules are set, and now it's just a matter of whether people actually follow them or if certain teams, cough Alabama, cough, pretend they don't understand how math works for another season.
Listen, I don't want to say we're going to have violations again, but let's just say I wouldn't put money on everyone following the rules. Texas will probably slip up. Ohio State might just start claiming historical precedent. And Alabama, well, let's just hope Kyle Tull doesn't wake up one morning feeling too confident again.
Enough about stats. Let's talk real football. This is the last stretch before college football 26 drops, and it's time to ask the question everyone's thinking. Should DFL finally ramp up difficulty and start playing on Heisman? Or is All-American still the move? Because let's be honest, the league has some dogs and they might just be ready for the chaos. Time will tell, But for now, the word on the street is everyone is too scared to vote the change in. On a different topic, the defending champs, Ohio State, didn't just beat South Carolina. They obliterated them, annihilated them, reduced their stadium to emotional rubble. We're talking about a beatdown so bad, South Carolina's head coach could only muster up one legendary word to describe it: cracked. Which, to be fair, might be the most accurate scouting report on Ohio State yet.
Listen, when a coach stares directly into the abyss after a loss and just mutters, "They're cracked," that's when you know the damage wasn't just physical, it was spiritual. South Carolina didn't just lose a game, they lost belief in the system. And now the real question is who, if anyone, can actually challenge Ohio State this season? Because right now they're running unregulated dominance, and it's starting to look unfair.
And let's not forget, the Ohio State coach is allegedly eyeing a potential departure. Florida, UNC, and Cincinnati are rumored landing spots. Which leads me to a very important question. Does he have brain damage? You just shattered South Carolina's entire self-worth. You have a championship team, and now you're thinking about walking away. Either this is all fake news, or someone needs to do a full psychological evaluation. ASAP.
If he actually leaves for Cincinnati, I think we need to run a full league-wide intervention. This is like winning the lottery and then deciding to throw the ticket in a river because challenges are fun. I mean, sure, Florida and UNC could work, but leaving this roster, this is either a next-level mastermind plan or complete football malpractice in action.
So that's where we stand. Ohio State is untouchable. South Carolina is still trying to process what happened, and their head coach might need a life coach after that loss. And now, with all these head coaching rumors, the future of the DFL is looking real unstable. Which brings us to our next question, which is, how does Oklahoma bounce back now that Jamie Trevino, their offensive cheat code, is officially gone? Ah, yes, Jamie Trevino, the man, the myth, the one-man university. This wasn't just a wide receiver, folks. This was an institution, a movement, a force of nature. Trevino didn't just catch touchdowns. He ran them, threw them, returned them, probably caught his own passes, and somehow still had time to manage the university's financial records between plays. If you're asking, how did Oklahoma function before him? The answer is simple. They didn't.
I swear there were games where Trevino lined up at quarterback, kicker, punter, mascot, and at one point may have been running stadium concessions just to make sure fans got their nachos. The dude was everywhere, always doing everything. If Oklahoma football were a movie, Trevino would have been all the starring roles.
And now he's gone. And suddenly Oklahoma is standing there, shell-shocked, wondering how the universe expects them to function without their walking stat machine. Meanwhile, Alabama is over here celebrating Nathan Hawkins' Heisman win. But let's be honest, Hawkins wasn't even the best player in his own conference. That title belongs to Jamie Trevino. And frankly, if there were any real justice in the world, Hawkins would have mailed his Heisman trophy straight to Trevino as an apology.
I'll tell you what's really wild. Oklahoma is now in a full-blown identity crisis. Without Trevino, they got to actually run a normal offense, and frankly, I don't think they even know what that looks like anymore. We might see them out there experimenting mid-game, trying to figure out how football works without one player carrying every ounce of responsibility. This is about to be hilarious to watch.
So what happens now? Oklahoma has one goal: survive life after Trevino. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if half their fans are still in deep denial, pretending he's going to come running out of the tunnel last second just to save them one more time. But until that miracle happens, Oklahoma is officially on their own. And with college football 26 on the horizon, this league is about to enter a whole new era. Before we shut this down, let's talk Heisman hopefuls, because the race for 2030 is shaping up to be an absolute circus.
You're damn right it is. Can we say damn on air, Johnny? Because damn, we got Texas Longhorn running back Quattro, a back so nice they had to name him twice. I don't know what's more dangerous, his speed or the fact that every commentator sounds completely ridiculous every time they say his name. You can't tell me Quattro breaks free down the sideline. Doesn't sound like a glitch in the Matrix.
And then there's Ohio State free safety Eric Beta, otherwise known as Eric Badass. Because when your name is literally built for intimidation, You're either snagging game-changing picks or striking fear into quarterbacks just by existing. Half the league might start adjusting their offensive schemes just to avoid him.
And of course, any Alabama player who somehow fits perfectly into their cheeseball play style. I swear they could draft a punter and somehow still exploit the system enough to make him a Heisman finalist. At this point, their entire offense runs on pure algorithm abuse, and honestly, I respect the hustle.
And what a hustle it is, Chuck. Those Roll Tide boys might roll right into another championship on the back of that punter, too. Well, that just about wraps it up for the DFL Gridiron Radio's first episode. Listen, if you liked what you heard, congratulations. You have exceptional taste. If you didn't, well, take that up with your therapist. Until next time, keep the stats clean and keep the league chaos strong. As always, stay just barely on the edge of league-approved commentary. Johnny Gridlock signing off.
Last thing I want to say, Johnny, if Alabama violates another stat rule before the next episode, we're running a full-length documentary on why they refuse to listen. Stay tuned. Mad Dog out.